Yeah, something else, like a different ball game entirely. Okay, so like I always say, I am Ajayolu Abukola of Nigeria because I'm the creative director on everything and everything and everything in between. I'm first and foremost an event planner. I'm an event manager, but in Nigeria, we really don't dig event managers like that. We do more of event planning and everything. But it's fine. At least we're living and we're making money. That's the important thing. Everything green. Okay, so today we're going to be having class, and we're going to be treating two topics. The very first one borders on trust. Borders on trust based on the fact that when there's no trust, there can be collaborations, and when there are no collaborations, it won't be very easy for you to grow as a vendor within your industry. For everything I do on Naija Bakers, I do it based on what will you do, Bukola. Like, I ask myself questions of what will you do, how will you want to be treated, how will you want persons to treat you, how do you want to grow, what is the next level, what's that next level you want to attain, what's that next step you want to take. That is everything I do on Naija Bakers, and it's always about me, sharing on entrepreneurs and supporting them in ways I can using the baking industry. So even if you are not a baker and right now you're on this live feed, don't go away. For everything I say, you can also implement in your own industry, and trust me, it will make sense. Everything is just about implementing. You can get different information that has to do with business. At times you think it's not relevant to you, but it truly is relevant to you if only you can just implement. And to my friends who tried connecting on from Brazil the other time, I hope you guys come back again so that we can have this class together. It's crazy that the network is bad, but we'll try. But before I go on, I know you guys have seen, some of you have seen the flyers that carries my face and Tarona Margarine. Yippee! I'm the brand influencer for Tarona Margarine. Though I know I endorsed a margarine last year, and I'm endorsing another margarine this year. It just means my bank account likes being greased. That's the only thing I've been able to put together through it, And it's a beautiful thing when brands like this come around and say, Naija Bakers, we love what it is you do. We like the fact that you support upcoming bakers. We like the fact that you're supporting entrepreneurship. We like the fact that you don't just post cakes and all. You post quality content and useful content, and want to key into your audience, to introduce our products to them. Sorry. And I said, I need a bucket at least. I need to see it. And I said, definitely. In fact, she was even the first person that said, I want to send a bucket to you. I want to do this and I want to do that. And I said, okay, it's fine. Let me test it. Let me see what it looks like. They have the bucket. They have the carton. The difference between the bucket and the carton is just the container. For the bucket is like the regular bucket you see. For the carton, they are not in sachet. Someone was asking me that are they in sachet? No, they are not in sachet. There is a big plastic bag inside the carton, and the 20 kg margarine inside the plastic bag. So you scoop it out as if you were scooping out from a bucket. The bucket is 8,500 nationwide, and the carton is 15,000 naira. And if you want to be a distributor, talk to Tarona Margarine in the DM. I use the margarine. I don't bring you bad brands. Any brand I put my name on is because I've used it, I've asked around, I've read the feedbacks, I've read the reviews and everything, and I know it's bam. This margarine is dope. You just can't go wrong with Tarona Margarine. So check out Tarona Margarine, and there's a giveaway. I'll be loading a giveaway before the day runs by. I'm going to be loading a giveaway, massive giveaway, sponsored by Tarona Margarine. The first winner of the giveaway is going to be getting 6 months of Tarona Margarine, 20 kg supply for good 6 months. The second runner, the second position will be getting 3 months supply of the 20 kg, and the third winner is going to get a month supply. ICC. The latest writer in town. Congratulations. Okay, so let us start class. That's a Bifa Bongbe. Don't mind that. I don't know why she's using her personal handle. That's just all about cakes. She's using her personal handle. Okay, so the very first topic I'm going to be just dash you what? Dash you the margarine. You want to leak margarine. Okay, don't worry. We'll talk about margarine. We'll talk about margarine as usual on WhatsApp. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to be talking about today is trust. Trust that leads to collaborations. Collaborations that help you source for baking items easily and at affordable rates. I lived in Abuja for over 10 years. I tell people I left Lagos over 15 years ago. I've lived in at least 2 or 3 states, you know, schooling and all, being an entrepreneur. And I noticed that the rate at which we buy stuff in Lagos, are quite cheaper to the rates at which persons in other parts of the country buy. And that is due to transportation fee on the part of the companies selling these things and all, because when they ship these things into Lagos and they clear it at the port in Lagos and they get to sell in Lagos, it's quite cheaper for them to sell. But when they have to transport these things to other parts of the countries, they need to add in money for insurance, that is goods in transit insurance. They need to add money for transportation, they need to add money for tax, so many things, you know. And if they need to also rent spaces in other states that they use as warehouse or showrooms and all, they also need to pay for accommodation and all. So by the time they add all these things, staff salary is there and all, you realize that at times you are buying twice or thrice the rate at which in other states, the rate at which bakers or vendors in general buy in Lagos. You just can't blame these companies. They also have to add all these additional expenses to these goods to enable them not run at a loss. And as entrepreneurs, I say it all the time, the reason why we are in business is to make money. When you are in business and you're not making money, it's better you leave that particular industry and you go source for an industry where you feel you will excel. When you are not making money, that means you are not excelling. Okay, so the very first thing is trust. How do you breed trust? One of the issues we have as entrepreneurs, as bakers, whether you, I say it all the time, if you're on my life, even if you're not a baker, just hang around, convert these things to your industry and implement. It's still going to serve the same purpose. Okay, so I notice most times we don't trust. Trust is a very big issue in the human race right now. Fathers don't trust their sons, mothers don't trust their daughters, siblings don't trust each other, aunts don't trust nieces, nephews, and whoever. You know, we don't just trust. Trust has become a very big problem. And that is the reason why most times you're not even excelling in business, because we can't even trust our staff in the office. We believe when we open the store, the staff is trying to steal margarine, the staff is trying to steal your baking flour, the staff is trying to steal something from you. You don't trust your dispatch rider. You don't just trust anyone. And when there are trust issues like this, when you feel you can't open up to persons, especially I'm not talking about even personal, but even on in a personal life, is also a daily occurrence that is eating everybody up. But when it comes to business, you just need to trust. If you can't trust, that means you can't hand over the mantle of power. And when you can't hand over the mantle of power, that means your business is not going to be a generational business, whether you like it or not. If you can't trust someone enough to say, I'll be traveling out of the country, I'm going to Dubai, I'm going to the US, I'm going to Europe. So the manager, you have access to the storeroom. As the manager, you have access to this, you have access to that. You give your students the price list. You tell them the key ingredients you use in baking that makes yours unique. But when you can't trust them with this information and you believe you just have to hoard everything to yourself, you realize that your business will just be at stagnation. Your business will not grow, because people will always want you to show at least an iota of trust. I'm not saying you should trust people blindly, but what I'm saying is that at times you just need to let go. You just need to let go of certain responsibilities. You just need to let go of certain informations. You just need to let go of certain things to enable your business grow from one point to the other. So, but trust now I'm talking about, I just decided to touch that a little when it comes to staffing. But trust, the one I'm talking about now is trust within your industry. You know Baker A lives in Lagos and you're in Abuja. And why not talk to Baker A that lives in Lagos and say, Baker A, where do you buy your stuffs from? Please, because I need to buy these things at cheaper rates. My customers are leaving because I can't sell to them at affordable rates. My customers are doing this because I can't do this. I'm not meeting up with sales because these things we buy are quite expensive. And the other competitors in my community or in my state who have the resources to buy these things in bulk, buy from Lagos. How do I source for these things? I'm not telling you to give me your information on a platter of gold. I don't mind paying for it. At times, one of the reasons why we don't get information we need is because we don't even want to part with anything. Life is give and take. Life is give and take. Some of you just feel when you send 100,000 to that person in Lagos to buy this thing for you, the person will buy goods just worth 80,000 and send to you and pocket your 20,000 naira. And at times it's not even like that. Like, I am not a thief, for example. I am not a thief. I don't hoard other people's possessions. I don't convert other people's stuffs. But you guys just feel everybody is a thief. You feel everyone around you is a thief. They are trying to steal from you. So when you send 100,000, the person will buy 80,000 and pocket the remaining 20,000. And because of that, you rather buy 160,000 worth of goods for what the person will have even bought, quote and unquote, 80,000. Let us say, okay, fine. The person decides to remove 20,000 and pocket it and buys 80,000. Trust me, if someone pockets 20,000 naira from you, 100,000 to buy from you in Lagos, you are still making profit. You're still making profit as if you're going to be selling it in Abuja, or you're going to be selling it in Kano. Because that 80,000 naira worth of goods, trust me, if you were to buy in Kano, if you were to buy in Asaba, if you were to buy in Owerri, if you were to buy in Abuja, you still buy around 160,000. Because for everything they sell outside Lagos is twice or triple the amount they bought in Lagos. I sold in Abuja. I sold laces, Ankara, party bags. Go to my Facebook and go and look at old pictures. I sold lots of things in my shops. I know how much we sell because we need to add all these additional expenses and everything. And for someone like me who does not like traveling by road, I travel by air. I add it to it because I can't come and kill myself. You know? So, you need to start building relationships. And you need to trust a little more. Talk to this baker in Lagos. I need to buy at cheaper prices because I want my brand to grow. I want to start commercializing my cakes. And if I don't buy at cheaper prices, I won't be able to do that in Kano. I won't be able to do that in Bauchi. I spoke about this during the Abuja Cake Fairy Day I had in March. Then you tell Baker A you're talking to in Lagos that you're not going to be doing this for free. Let them know you're going to be paying for their time. Everything is not free. Everything is not free. I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it over and over again. Everything cannot come to you free of charge. Let Baker A know that you're going to be paying for the time he or she will be investing in going to Akpogbo markets to get these things for you. Nobody will give you informations they invested so much in getting. You can be a Lagosian, you don't even know where they sell wholesales in Lagos for baking items. Yes. You can be a Lagosian, you don't know where they sell wholesale t-shirts if you're a printer. You can be a Lagosian and you don't even know where they sell these things. Most persons paid huge sum of money for it, even though they live in Lagos. So you can't just tell them to just give you this information for free. Do you know why they will steal from you? They will steal from you because you are not offering them anything for the information they have sourced for. You're not offering them anything for the stress they will be going to the market for you. You're not offering them anything for leaving their own businesses to go help you sort out yours. That is the only reason why I think any reasonable human being will steal from you. But if you tell anybody, I want to send 100,000 to you, for example, and I'm adding 20,000 naira to it, please, would that be enough for TP? Trust me, they will go gladly buy that thing. They will want to impress you. If you are not careful, they will add 10,000 from that 20 you've given them, add it to the 100,000 naira and send things because they just want to impress you that I've been telling you that things are cheaper in Lagos. I've been telling you that Lagos has the best life. I've been telling you that Lagos this. I've been telling you that Lagos that. They just want to impress you, and because of that, they will go above and beyond. Even if you don't have 100,000 naira to send to Lagos, build trust within your own community. Talk to bakers around you. Ah, babe, come. Guy, come. I'm thinking of this thing, and I think in my work, I want to start buying my things from Lagos because it's not easy. All these established bakers, I believe they've gone through this stage as well in their businesses. And some persons are lucky. They have people giving them money. They have people funding their businesses. For us, can we come together and do like a mini contribution together? We are all 4 bakers, we are 5 bakers. We'll do our mini contribution. Every 3 months, we'll send this money. I've gotten someone in Lagos that will be buying for us. Your own 50,000, my 50,000, this person's 50,000, this person's 50,000, this person's 50,000. Or at the end of every month, if there is sales, 50K, or 2 months, or 3 months, that's once in 3 months. If you are still upcoming and you know the sales are not really forthcoming like that, 50K from 5 persons is that's 250,000. And you say on this money, everybody will add 10,000. Everybody will add 10,000. Or everybody will add 7,000, depending on what it is you bargain with the person in Lagos. So that that money we are adding is going to be the person's profits for leaving their businesses and for investing their time in getting these things for us. I've sold before in other states. If you add 10,000 to 50K, for example, you are not losing. That's the truth. You are not losing. I've sold in other states in this country. You are not losing. You guys come. Thank you very much, the Little Bake Store. You guys come together and you add. You contribute this money. You add money to it. You send it to that person. The person goes to Akmongbo Market for you, or wherever it is they want to go buy from you. Whether it's Kogi store, anywhere they want to go and buy for you. They go there. They buy these things for you, and they send it to you. Ekene the Luchuku is there. Chisco Moto is there. Those ones that do night traveling, those are the ones. Initially, I didn't know when I started business newly. That's why I'm telling you that people have paid so much to understand these informations. When I started selling Abuja newly, I used to take my things to cross country. No. Yes, I used to take it to cross country. That was where I started from. I know cross country, they don't have boots and they don't do logistics. So when I take it to cross country, and I used to buy like a whole lot. Because you know, fabrics are very bulky, and shoes. When anytime I enter Idumota today, they still greet me at Idumota because I used to sell a whole lot. I mean, these people that used to do meetings, so these social clubs, they used to buy their Ashoegbe, they call it Ashoegbe, from me, you know. So I used to buy a whole lot. So when I get to cross country will tell me to buy the entire seat at the back. I'm talking about as far back as 2006, 2007. I'll buy the entire seat at the back. Then it used to be around 5,500 per seat, and I have to pay for the entire seat, 5,500 or 6,000 per seat then, and I'll pay for the entire seat at the back. Then after a while, someone now told me that there's this place, and my drop man, my cab man will come to the house as early as 4 o'clock for me to be able to meet up with that. Because when they come to the house as early as 4 o'clock, we'll take these things, we'll take it to Jibo Yabat cross country. I give it to them, I pay for it and everything. Then it takes me to the airport. I always make sure that I book my flight for around 10:30, 11 something. So the cabman will take me to the airport. Then I'll travel down to Abuja. So I'll be in Abuja by the time they will arrive in the evening, and I'll pick these things up. So calculate how much it is the cabman is charging me, how much it is cross country has charged me for that. Then after a while, someone now told me, there's a place at Yanokpaja which is very close to my mom's place. My mom still lives around the Gbeda houses here. There's a place at Yanokpaja here where you can actually get cheaper vehicles. So I did that about 4 or 5 times, but I was not really too comfortable about the arrangement. You know, this local Yoruba interstate transport company, I wasn't really too comfortable about it with the way they were doing my things. I'll pay for these seats, and by the time they want to move, they will start squeezing my bags underneath the seat and destroy so many of my clutches and all. What I'm trying to say is that I have invested money, I've run at loss gathering this information. So if, for example, you were telling me to do it for you, I won't do it for you. Nobody should come and make me the DM. I'm not buying for anyone. I'm just saying that I won't do these things for you for free, because I also invested time, money and resources and sweat and tears to get those informations. So if I want to do it for you, you must be offering me something in exchange for why I should do it for you. But you need to let go of fear. One of the greatest problems upcoming bakers especially have is sourcing for baking equipment, ingredients and products and everything at cheaper rates. That is one of the greatest issues upcoming bakers have. And the easiest way to break that issue is to form alliances with another baker who understands Lagos and form alliances with bakers in your community. You guys are all bakers, but there is only one baker. I've spoken about that 1,000,001 times. If there are 10 bakers in my apartment block, I am the only baker there, but I'm not their enemy. We are still all going to be friends. Though friend is a very big word to use, but we're still going to be colleagues. Let me use the word colleagues. Friend is a very, very big word, so I'd rather use the word colleagues. We're still going to be colleagues, but I'm the only baker. But the fact that I see myself as the only baker does not mean I will not form alliances with them. Let us stop this. She's going to cheat me. He's going to cheat me. They will know my trade secret. There's no trade secret anywhere. The only trade secret you have is the love and passion you use in baking. That is the only trade secret you have. There's absolutely no information anyone wants to know that is not online. Everyone knows is flour, sugar, margarine or butter, eggs, flavors, fresh fruits, whatever it is you are adding to yours, cheese, you know. These things are online. These informations are readily available. What sets you apart is what is up here. The passion, the love, that extra mile you go to in using fresh fruit instead of using just flavors. You know, how you sit down on your own and you tweak your recipes. You add one or two things, you add your pistachio, you add these things, you just move around your recipes and you come out with something bam. But no one can run you dry if those informations you use are inbuilt. And what is inbuilt is your passion, is the love for your job. So let us stop this mediocre way of thinking. This mediocrity of, it's going to steal from me. When I send this money down, it's going to steal from you. So because you think that person is going to steal from you, you rather still buy at times 3 the rate you will have bought if you had trusted the other person to buy for you. There are still lots and lots of good people out there. Trust me. Yes. There are 1,000,001 good people out there. You just need to find out. You just need to go closer. You need to break down some walls. You need to break down some barriers. You need to break down some issues you've had, probably from childhood, probably the way you've seen the way you saw your parents treat one another, or the way you saw one of your mom's friend betray her, or something, or a childhood experience, or someone betrayed you or something. You need to get rid of all this. Not throw them away, because you also need to be aware. You also need to be able to sense bad people, but don't let them always be in front, and you're cheating yourself in the process. You are changing yourself in the process just because you can't trust. The biggest issue I have in my DM, this is one of the biggest issue I have in my DM. Ma, how can I buy these things? These things are expensive. This is the way to buy these things. You can only buy these things when you're ready to trust, when you're ready to gather the money, send to someone who lives in that place you need that thing from, and the person buys it and sends to you. But remember, it's not going to be for free. When you think it's going to be for free, when you think the person is going to invest his or her time in it for you for free, that is where you are getting it all wrong. You won't get the best of that person. But when the person knows that as they are going to the market for you, they are also buying a pack of something for themselves, with the money you send to them as a token for running around for you, then the person feels fulfilled doing it. That by the time they are seeing that thing, that thing they bought with the money you gave them as the token, they are happy and they feel fulfilled. They've not gone to the market to waste their time. That is buying your baking items at cheaper rates. Trust, collaborate. I've been shouting about collaborations since last year. For over a year now, I've been shouting about collaborations. Collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. Whether you like it or not, you need to collaborate. Yes, you need to make friends. you need to make acquaintances, and you need to form alliances. When you don't form alliances, your growth will be a little slow. You need to form alliances. Even these established bakers you all look up to, notice their alliances. I don't like calling it clique. People think it's clique. It's nothing. That's nothing to do with clique. It's just alliances. They are just wise enough to know they can't grow alone. They are wise enough to know that someone needs to hold their hands. They are wise enough to know that they need a backbone. They are wise enough to know that someone needs to pull them up the ladder of success. And one of the greatest form of forming alliances is when money is involved and trust is not broken. When the person believes you can trust them with your money, when someone knows you trust them with your money, when someone knows you trust them with your information, if the person has ankali, I also will call it ankali, if the person has sense, the person will not want to break their trust. And when they are tested and tested and tested over and over again, they begin to form strong bonds, strong alliances that leads to success. You see Dewdrops and Dripples, you see them going to Tanzania together. It didn't start in one day. It was a gradual thing. Probably Dripples have even sent money to Dewdrops and said, help me buy this thing in Lagos. You never can tell. You see these friendships and you're like, oh, don't mind them, it's clique. Oh, don't mind them, it's clique. It's not clique. They built trust with each other over time. Are you building trust? Are you forming alliances that will make you and that person you formed an friendship with, that will make you guys travel and be on the flyer somewhere in Dubai as two bakers coming in to teach? That will make you be on a flyer somewhere in Ghana. That will make you be on a flyer somewhere in Kenya. You need to start building alliances. Start forming solid collaborations. You want to buy at cheaper rates in Lagos. I can't buy for you. Someone asked me if I can't buy for you. You need to form alliances with someone in your industry that will buy for you. The other one I'll be talking about is being intentional, which is our watchword for this year on Nigeria Bakers. Lots of bakers have used it. I'm so happy you guys really caught up with it. Be intentional. And that was, I think, my very first class this year. Be intentional. I want to do it over again because we are almost at the second half of the year. We are in May. May is the 5th month. By next month, that is half of the year. So I want to treat this before we hit the 6th month. Are you being intentional? Are you working towards your goals? Are you achieving your goals? I said last year, December, that we should do a vision board for the year 2019. Because I didn't put a price tag to it, most people did not do it. Luckily, a lady did it, and someone else again tried, I think, some days later. And that was amazing Empress Cake. And that was why I gave her the mixer Lexi's Case gave to us. I gave it to her because she was the only one who did the vision board. I was not telling you to do your vision. They are the whole world. In your mind, you're like, I will not write, I want class, I want to do this, I want to do that. People will not be seeing what I want to do. No, let me just be doing my thing in silence. It's fine. But you need a vision board. So that at the end of each year, you're not praying for the same thing you prayed for last year. If you're not careful, by 2030, you still be praying for the same things you prayed for this year. I'm not swearing. We need to start implementing. We need a vision board. I had vision boards for this year. That I want to go to some states in Nigeria for Nigeria Cake Fairy Day. I did it. I had a vision board for the website. God has done it. I have a vision. God will... See, God... No amount of binding and casting will solve anything. A child... I like using this example a lot. When you want to carry a child, and the child is not like this, you know you can't lift that child. It simply means, no, I'm not having it. But when you're approaching a child and the child does his or her hands like this, you just giggle and you carry the child because the child is telling you, carry me. Even when they are all dirty, probably they poured stuffs on their body and everything. But just because they've lifted up their arms, which indicates carry, lifts, you want to grab them and carry them and smooch their cheeks and everything. It's the same thing with God. We are religious people in Nigeria, but his religion will not help any business. I'm sorry. Religion will not help any business. The thing that's going to help any business is when you start implementing. What is that thing you've written that you want to achieve in 2019? At least, if you've written 5 things, and I like very reasonable goals, I'm telling you to go and write, I want to be the house in Lekki. when you know your income cannot sustain it. Though God is a miracle worker, anything can happen, but it's not a magician. So when you've written 5 things, for example, at least this is, we are approaching the end of the first half of the year, which is we are approaching the 6-month mark. If you've written 5 things, at least I want to believe that by now you've achieved 2. At least you've achieved 2. If by now you've not achieved 2, there's a problem. That means you're not what? You're not being intentional. Let me tell you what being intentional means. Being intentional means to be thoughtful, to think about stuffs before doing them, to scrutinize yourself, to digest it, to understand the reason why you want to do it. That is the meaning of being intentional. You can't just do stuff because every other person is doing it. Don't jump on the bandwagon. Don't attend that class because everybody is attending the class. Attend the class because you've thought about it and there's an end game to it. Don't buy that baking tool because every other person is buying it. Buy it because there's an end game to it. Don't open that storefront because every other person is opening a storefront. The resources with you, can it sustain a storefront? Because whether you like it or not, the very first 1 year rent of any storefront you pay is marketing rent. I call it marketing fee because that is the very first year, is the year where you introduce your goods and services and your products to everyone within that community. So when you have that money, you were supposed to probably use to buy a bigger oven and keep in your kitchen at home, or buy a bigger mixer and keep your kitchen at home to help increase your productivity. You are renting the shop because Backup A announced she just rented a shop. And you're forgetting that the very first year of rent you pay is marketing fee. Yes. The very first rent you pay in a shop is marketing. Because the very first year is when you do lots of freebies, when you do lots of giveaways, when you do lots of cake tastings, just for you to introduce yourself to that community. I relocated to Lagos last year. I've not gotten a storefront. I've not even baked. I've not even done events. What I've been doing mostly is Naija Bakers. And it's fine. Because I am not sure where my permanent base is. And I don't want to start investing money in stuff. I might end up not recuperating what it is I've invested in them. You need to be thoughtful. Am I tempted to rent a shop? Yes, I'm tempted to rent the shop. Most times I say, please, I'm going to somewhere to go and look for a shop. I'm just tired. Because I'm a businesswoman. I like making money. You know? But I've thought about it. If I rent this shop now, what purpose will it serve? Will I make my money back? And I'm not too sure because of my time frame. Don't do anything because someone is doing it. Don't do an exhibition because Naija Bakers is doing it. The way Naija Bakers funded the exhibition is different. What I'm simply saying is that don't do anything because somebody is doing it. I have huge plans for Naija Bakers. I have products in mind. Our branded product. I have so many things in mind for Naija Bakers, but not this year. But I won't rush and do it because Mommy Coxie. Do you know when Mommy Coxie started? Or Mommy Kike Olu Mix and Bake started selling cake tools. Dewdrops on Court Learning is coming up in September. She's bringing in international seasoned facilitators. Because of that, will I go and pay people 1 million, 2 million to come to Nigeria for Naija Bakers Cake Exhibition 2020? No! No! I've not gotten to that level yet. Don't do things because people are doing it. Do things because you've thought about it. You are being intentional about it. You've done your 1 plus 1 and it's giving you 2. All the time you've calculated the 1 plus 1, it's giving you 2. It has not given you 2 point something and there's a fraction behind. What is the meaning of being intentional? To actively interact and engage with self. You are being intentional when you're actively interacting with yourself. When you're engaging with yourself. Some people don't know how to play with themselves. Some people are not good with playing with themselves. They always want to be around persons. Me, I'm an introvert. It's funny, I can be an introvert, I can be an extrovert. But I spend most of my time with myself when I'm not selling. When I'm not in the field selling. I spend a lot of time with myself. And it gives me time to think. to think of the next move to make. It gives me time to engage with myself, to interact with myself. Yoruba will say, báyìí fún àtẹ̀dọ̀ àtòróòró ẹ̀ kó wọn pọ̀ kó bá wọn ṣe meeting. You can advise yourself. If only you just tell that party, like, I know in a year I attend like 20 parties. I mean, I don't attend parties, I'm just saying, I'm citing an example. I know in a year I attend like 20 parties. Okay, this year I'm going to reduce it to 10. Or I'm going to reduce it to 12 or to 5. That time I spend at those parties every weekend. Let me just sit down and have a rethink about my life. When you don't interact and engage with yourself, with your life, there can't be growth in your business. This is one life I will share, and hopefully I'll be able to share because network will allow me. I want you to come and rewatch this live. I would like it if you can rewatch this live when I share. Engage with self. Just have a rethink with your life. Sit at home. You don't need to attend all the parties they invite you for. 30 years from now, my generation will start. 30 years is too much. I'm approaching 40. Let's say 25 years from now. 25 years from now, my generation will start giving account for what it is they did with their youth. And you're not going to give account with your mouth. You give your account with your achievements. Hey, you won't give account with your mouth. You give account with your achievements. It's your achievement that will speak for you. That, oh, well, when this person was young, this person implemented. When this person was young, this person implemented. The ones who implemented, you see them in their house, on their balcony. They will do like this when they are 70 years and be greeting all the children in the area. That means they implemented when they were youth. So now they have their own properties. Now they've trained their children. Now their children are either married or they're in higher institutions or they're in secondary schools or they're somewhere, and they can easily relax in the comfort of their home, and their insurance for the pension is coming in, and they are just okay. And for those of us who are self-employed, we have properties somewhere, our tenants are paying, and we are just eating our food on doctors' recommendation and everything, and we are just comfortable because we used our youth wisely. It's time to start interacting and engaging with your life. What does it mean to be intentional? To be intentional means to scrutinize what it is you do, to reevaluate it. I've done this thing before, I'm doing it again. Why am I doing it again? I done this thing before, it gave me A, B, C results, and I didn't like the result it gave me, so I think I need to do it differently. When you don't scrutinize what it is you do, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and it won't yield any result. It won't yield the desired result. The result it will keep yielding over time is the result you don't want. If you're in the baking industry, for example, and it's not yielding any results, go and get a mentor. Go and get a mentor. Go for one-on-one business class. Intimate business classes like the one I organized in March. Go for intimate, not crowded 50 people in business class. Because crowded business class is mainly for persons who are already achieving their set goals. They just need to get more information and get more new ideas. But intimate business classes are for those who are having slight issues here and there, and they just need someone to help them fine-tune it. So go for intimate business classes. Sit down, talk to mentors, and hear what it is they have to say about it. Implement what it is they've told you. After a while, if it is not giving you what you want it to give you, please kindly give up. It's okay to give up on certain ideas. It's okay to shut down certain businesses. It's fine. Stop thinking they're going to make jest of me. Nobody has time for anybody. Nobody is seeing anybody. Shut the business down. Sit down and think about something you're passionate about, something you believe you're good at, and run with it. It's high time you begin to scrutinize your ideas. It's high time you begin to scrutinize your business. It's high time you begin to scrutinize even your finance. What does it mean to be intentional? It means to say no to a new project, to say no to a client or events. You can say no to a new project. If someone is telling you to dabble into something you are not really sure about, it's fine to say no. Because you've not calculated the risk, you've not done your research, you've not asked questions, you don't know if you're going to make your money back. Thank you for the ads. You don't know if you're going to make your money back, and it's very fine to say, no, I'm so sorry, I won't be able to finance this particular project you want me to be a part of. But maybe next time, when I've done my research, when I've done my homework, and I feel it's something I can invest in. What does it mean to be intentional? Means you align your dreams with every step you make. At the long run, is this what I want to achieve? Now you are looking at the long term. Oh, thank you for telling me thanks for this. Now you're looking at the long term. I love short-term goals. I say this over and over again. I love goals. I can say next year I want to achieve A, B, C, D, and I try and achieve at least A, B, and C. Trust me, most times when you talk about achieving a lot, you might end up not being able to achieve all you want to achieve. You know, but sorry, someone is distracting me. Let her just carry her biggie belly and pass. But when we talk about short-term goals, by the time you accumulate your short-term goals, it gives a, how will I put it? Your short-term goals, at the end of the day, they all come together in the long run. And then they now become the long-term goals. I don't know how to put it. By the time you implement A, B, C, you wanted to implement A, B, C, and D in 2000. Let us do an example now. I want to write. You wanted to implement A, B, C, and D in 2015. But you were only able to implement A, B, C. Then 2016, you now brought D, and D is here. So now you want to implement D, E, F, G. I hope my ABC is right now. ABC, D, E, F, G. Okay, perfect. So because you were unable to implement the D for 2015, you've moved it to 2016. At least you were able to implement 3 out of 4, which is perfect. So D is now here. You've added E, F, G. Now you're able to do D, E, F. G again is coming down. You now realize that, okay, instead of me giving myself 4 short-term goals in a year, let me start giving myself 3 short-term goals in a year. Then you now bring G here, G, H, I. Then you implement it in 2017. You implemented it and you scored yourself 100 over 100. You know, then K, J, K, L, and M, N, O. 2018 JKL, you implemented all 3. 2018 MNO, you see that you've implemented in 2019. By 2020, you can now tell yourself, why not add 1 more again? I think I'm getting good at this. I'm getting good at implementing what it is I want to implement, and I'm getting good at executing everything. Then you now add 4 again. You know, PQRST, blah 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 blah. All this will not make sense in the beginning, but in 10 years from now, in 15 years from now, you will now realize that because you were trying to implement 3 every year or 4 every year, and you're able to achieve at least 3 out of 4, and you cut it down to 3 short-term goals per year, and in 10-15 years, you will now realize that you've achieved, if not everything, but almost everything you've always wanted to achieve in your life. But if for every year you don't have a vision board, you will keep praying for the same thing over and over and over again. There must be something you want to achieve in a year. There must be something. And don't just say it. Don't just say it. And this year I want to lose weight. Lose weight if you want to lose weight. Stop repeating. You can sit down there. Okay, you can sit down there. But drop the laptop. Stop repeating the same thing over and over again. Stop repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Sorry, put it there now. Stop repeating the same thing over and over again. 2017, you want to lose weight. 2018, you want to lose weight. And that is the only goal you have in the year. But you never achieve it. That means something is wrong. That means the weight loss is not really of importance to you. You are not really prioritizing. It has to align. What I've achieved in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 is almost here. Is it working together for my good? By the time I'm 50 years, will I be able to beat my chest and say I lived a good life? Because by the time you are 50, 60, trust me, nothing again. You should just be eating on doctor's orders. Don't drink Milo, don't drink milk, don't drink Coke. Madam, your teeth, don't eat too much beef, eat more fish. Time you're 50, 60, nothing. Nothing. It's trying to begin to fail. You want to do it, not because you don't want to do it, but because the way God has designed our body, at the point it starts deteriorating. So all those things you are achieving in your youth, everything, if it's party, you party very well. You better become a celebrity. If you like to party, it's a good business. Like me, I'm not a party person. But if you like to party, if you know you are very good at party, in fact, you give more time, you give more priority to partying than to your business. It's better you just leave the cake business and just dump it aside and party. And tell yourself to a token makinwa. If you look at the house Linda KG just posted, that closet, I was like, wow. You know, and funny enough, token makinwa is not a party girl. She's a media mogul. So who can I use as an example that is a slave queen? I don't even know any slave mama that doesn't have a job. Funny enough. But if you like to party, go into fashion, sell fashion stuffs. Even if you don't want to sell them, tell people to give you their clothes, wear for them. Look, it's just almost like what Laura KG did. Wear the clothes for them, showcase the clothes, go to the gym every day, get a banging body, and do it. That means that is your passion. If you realize most times you even turn down cake orders because there's a party you want to attend, you're not meant to be a baker. Align. I creamy taste cakes. Align. I close cakes. Align your dreams with every step you make, so that by the time you're 60, by the time you're 65, by the time you're 70, by the time you're 80, you can look back and beat your chest and said, I lived. Yesterday I sent out nothing less than 15 emails. It was crazy. Different questions for different bakers. I was generating questions. I was cracking. I spent over 6 hours doing that yesterday because I didn't want these questions to be. But there was one question that was very, that was almost in all the questions I sent out. What will your legacy be when you are long gone? What will you be remembered for? And you can only be remembered for something when you align your purpose, when you align every step you make with your life. That is why the watchword for this year is be intentional. The exhibition this year in January was breaking glass ceilings, shattering it all down, pulling it down, every wall, every boundary, every barrier, pulling them down, strongholds, bringing them down, trampling on them. You need to align. You need to align with destiny. You need to be intentional. And the last one I'm going to be talking about is to be intentional means you are aware it is not enough to want to be great, but you have to work for it. And most importantly, execute it. To be intentional means you know it's not just enough to want something. Means you understand that you have to work for that thing. That when you don't work for that thing, the fact that you want it does not mean it will come. I want a Lamborghini. I don't have a Lamborghini because I don't have the money to buy a Lamborghini. I want a Maserati. I don't have a Maserati because I don't have the money to buy a Maserati. But I can buy a Maserati. God help, God willing, God blesses my hustle. I put in more sweat. I go out more. I engage more. I interact more. I network more. I collaborate more. And the opportunities to buy a Maserati will come. So you want something does not mean you're going to get it. You're only going to get it when you engage. You're only going to get it when you collaborate. You're only going to get it when you work more at it. So, funny enough, I treated 2 topics, but they're almost intertwined. That is how life is. Life most times is intertwined. You think you are treating 2 separate topics, but they are almost related. I thought about trust earlier. Trust that will lead to collaborations. Trust that will lead to you understanding that you need to collaborate with others to get baking items at cheaper rates. If you are somewhere in the other part of the country and you want a baker in Lagos to get it for you, you need to tell the baker, please get these things for us from the market, but I'm going to add so amount some of my money for it, so that you understand that you're not wasting your time going to the market. You can also do collaborations with persons within your place and tell them in your community that, okay, you're a baker A, you're a baker B, you're a baker C, let us come together and gather money. I've gotten someone that will buy for us. We have also amount of money on it for the person to buy it for us. But you can only do all of that when you trust the person you are sending, that the person is going to buy and buy well. Stop thinking everyone is a thief. Not everybody is a thief. Not everybody is a thief. And when you start doing that, it means you are being intentional, because you want to start buying your stuffs at cheaper rates. Because no amount of money you give the person you've sent in Lagos will make you lose. You will still gain when you calculate it to what it is they sell in your region. When you start doing this and you're buying at a cheaper rate, you'll be able to bake your cakes at a cheaper rate. That way you'll be able to outsell others. You'll be able to bake your cakes at cheaper rates. And even at times, especially when it comes to food colors, in Abuja, for example, we don't get good food colors. The only food colors I rely on when I was in Abuja was Wilton. That was the only food color I relied on. And Wilton is quite expensive. At times I buy as expensive as 700 naira. That very small thing that I use only on one cake and it is gone. 700 naira, very small thing. When I'm making real velvet at times, just ordinary 6-inch real velvet at times, I need to use at least 2 or 3 Wilton colors, red colors, to achieve my color. At times, some of these products, even in abundance in Lagos, they are not only cheap, but they are available. We don't even get them in other parts of the country. So when you can align and talk to someone in Lagos, form alliances, you get new products. They will tell you about new products. They will buy new products for you that will give you better results using less. And that way you'll be able to bake at cheaper quantity. And that way, what are you doing? You are being intentional. You are thinking outside the box. You are executing. And at the end of the day, all these little things you are doing might not make sense now, but in 10-15 years from now, you'll now realize that you've done a whole lot and your life is meaningful. I think that is class for today. It even went more lengthy than I thought it was going to go. And like I said, I'm dropping a powerful giveaway, courtesy of Tarona Margarine, sponsored by Tarona Margarine. That's one of the best, if not the best, margarine right now. Oche. So if you want to bake peng yummy cakes, peng yummy meat pies and sausages and croissants, you know, buttercream frosting. Your buttercream frosting shouldn't be buttercream all the time. Add fresh strawberries to it. Add fresh peanuts to it. But tell them if they eat nuts. Some persons are allergic to nuts, please. You know, when you are sandwiching your cakes all the time, it doesn't always be buttercream all the time. Alright, I think network is telling me they want to start being crazy before they do. I don't want to risk it. So I'll be signing off, and let's meet on my page. Thank you. Bye for now. See you next time. Bye bye.